Hello, I'm very happy to be here today with you, Fatima, and with all of you. It's an amazing opportunity for me to share what we experimented for almost 1 year now in Mano Mano. But first, let's introduce ourselves.
Yes, thank you, Laeticia. And I'll start by myself first. So, hello everyone. I'm really thrilled to be here today with you and share a piece of what we are doing at Mano Mano. And about me, so very few background introduction. I joined Mano Mano a year ago as an agile delivery leader. And basically, my day-to-day is to help people in the organization to find the most efficient way to work and find simple solutions to really complex problems in few words. But my background, it's quite simple as well. For more than 5 years, I managed brand plans, digital marketing programs for French and American companies. And doing one of my projects for one of my programs, actually I was managing at that time, I got in touch with the Agile community, and it was really like having an epiphany for me. I mean, that was what I wanted to do. And from there, I started to learn everything I could about agile mindset, practices, frameworks, ways of working. And I went to many events and met with people from the agile community. And in 2017, I joined Renault as an agilist to help the organization move forward with its digital transformation. And later on 2017, I joined another company, and this time in Quebec, a financial organization, to do the same thing. So really, I'm literally all the time moving. I was born in Morocco, I grew up in France, lived in Quebec, and soon, I hope, in Spain. And this is just about me. And one of my motto is really, okay, what if we try it? Let's give it a try and see what could happen. And I think this is what helps me in the day-to-day to try to see opportunities in everything and sometimes in anything, and dare to try when I can. So this is all about me. And what about you, Laeticia?
So I'm Laeticia, I'm 43. I live in Toulouse, in the south of France. I started my career as a software developer, and then I moved to project management role. I worked for 18 years within Airbus, working mainly on aircraft maintenance projects. In the summer 2017, like you in 2017, I had the chance to join another project, but it was an agile project. What I discovered after a few weeks is that a project manager is not really welcome in an agile environment. I was a bit shocked and stressed and started to worry about, my career, what I will be as an IT project manager. What did help me a lot is my care value and my motto, it's not perfect, but it's okay. I won't lie, it was not easy, but it was amazing. It was an amazing experience to discover and create an agile at scale environment, and I became an agilist. After this transformative experience, I decided to jump into the void. And I quit Airbus, security and stability, and I joined Mano Mano mostly 1 year ago. Now I'm very glad every day to support the hypergrowth of the company. So let's move to why we are here today. Here, scaling agile in an hypergrowth context, be the alchemist of your organization. When we thought about what we can share with you, with Fatima, really quickly a metaphor popped up in our mind about alchemy. Creating collaboration, self-learning environments, or reducing time to market sometimes look a bit magical.
Indeed.
So today our intentions is not to provide you with another recipe or another idea or whatever to apply as is in your organization, but share with you some experiments and how we approach our job by creating our own formula. First, we took some time to understand the context of Mano Mano. What does it mean to be a scale-up? What are the problems faced and maybe the problems that may come? What are the assets of the company, the ingredients of our formula in terms of cultures, value, people, and skills? Then, from all of that, emerged our vision and first experiments to build our collaborative framework called MAX. So, first things first, what is Mano Mano? Fatima, can you help us on that?
I'll do my best to give you a bit of information on Mano Mano. So I guess for most of you that were in France or in Europe, Mano Mano is most likely the company that saved your day in the middle of the lockdown when you needed to redo, I don't know, your bathroom or your living room, garden, or equip yourself to remote work, and I guess many other things. And actually Mano Mano is launched in 2013, so 8 years now, more than 8 years, yeah. We are a leading European marketplace for everything that is DIY, home improvement, and gardening, and we operate in 6 markets that we can see here. And we serve 2 type of customer, let's say that way, the B2C and the pros, and we are working very closely with our partners, the sellers. But Mano Mano, it's more than that. It's actually more than 900 employees throughout Europe, but mainly based in France and Spain, like Laeticia and myself. And that's it about the context, but I think some figures will help you a bit more to understand what we are dealing with on a daily basis.
Yes, here are some figures to help us to understand what does it mean to be a scale-up. The increase of the business volume and traffic on the platform, either the website or the mobile apps, is endlessly growing. And each year we also increase from 30% up to 50% the number of people within the company. So it means the number of buildings, the number of projects, the number of dependency. And it leads to an increasing complexity and potentially to more entropy in the company.
I'm not sure I get the last word.
Entropy. Entropy could be seen as a level of disorganization of a system. The more complexity you have, the more chaos you get.
Okay.
But we will come back later on that.
Okay.
So let's see also the first symptoms or problems we are starting to facing. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you are also facing this kind of situation in your context. It's not only for scale-up, it's also for a big company or smaller company. Currently, we said we have 900 people in Mano Mano, but in the tech part, regarding the teams, we have to synchronize more than 500 people together. And it starts to be more and more complex and more difficult. We have broader ambition, we want to deliver the right thing at the right time, and it's more and more complex also to manage. As we said, interdependency, the more people we have, the more interdependency we have. And it's growing and it's also complex. We have some silos effects, like I guess you have also in your organization, and it's decreasing the collaboration. And finally, potential quality issue and also potential difficulty to manage the technical obsolescence. Yeah. So regarding all that, where are we now, Fatima, in Mano Mano?
Yeah, let's try to sum up the different steps we went through as a company. So a few years ago, we were the size of a mice, and the organizations or the governance model did not require that much effort or attention since the scope and interactions were smaller and the problem less complex. In that context, the Spotify model was actually very appropriate, and most of the organizations use the Spotify model to build autonomous agile teams. But very soon, often this model has its limits when it comes to scalability. And at the same time, we are not yet an elephant, and actually we don't want to become one. Even if we are growing, we want to remain agile, fast mover, innovative, and keep our startup mindset. I know what you are saying, and I guess you all have the same question in mind. Yeah, that's great, but how do we do that? After all, this is what every company wants. But how do we deal with the scaling aspects? And for that, there is plenty of agile frameworks or ways of doing things on the market that could be used: lean startup, less, safe, and many others. We are just naming a few here. So rather than choosing, what we decided is to get inspired from Spotify because it is used within the organization, safe because we have both experimented and our team has experimented in other situations, and other ways of doing, other practices. And it took the best of our experiences and focused on that. but not only. Because very soon we started to say, okay, we started to have ideas, but what do we do? How do we do that? What are the ingredients we have within the organization? And we realized that actually it was all already there. We had everything we needed within the company to start this journey and to move on with this journey. So it just needed this little extra push. So we have very talented and skilled people that are immersed in startup culture for years now. And that's really a strong edge. We have people willing to try new things, new ways of doing things, open to change, and not afraid to take risks. And that's our strongest assets to leverage. And this mindset actually is embodied at Mano Mano within 3 strong values that we can see here: the boldness, the ingenuity, and care. And they are really the backdrop for everything we are doing, not only as Agilist or Alchemist, but as a company as a whole. And those values and this mindset also applies to our founders and executive committee members. They are actively involved in this process. And for me, I don't know about you, Laeticia, but this is the main difference I make from my past experiences where only teams or some departments were involved in the scaling agility. And on top of that, of course, we have our amazing team of alchemists bringing a set of agile values, practices, and their own experiences. So I guess you start to get it. We have a very exciting mix, which we were really eager to try with and try to build what could be our ways of doing things. And
yes. Let's see what is it. The more we observe the challenges of Mano Mano, the more the vision we had as Agilists started to emerge. And the MAX portion. MAX stands for Mano Mano Advanced Collaboration System. What is it? It's a customized agile framework based on some of the experiments we will share with you today. And what is the vision of this MAX portion? Is really to enable the scale-up of Mano Mano in terms of business, tech, and human perspective. We are currently a team of around 20 Agilists, 20 alchemists, as you said, and we created this vision. Every day we cooked it, we implemented it in our day-to-day activities. And we want to bring things, we want to have some impact.
Yeah.
What is it that?
Actually, we want to 2 things, I would say. First things is really related, of course, to practices and to type of culture and help the culture within the organization grow. And also another thing we bring is a systemic approach, meaning that we are not considering the organization as an aggregate of different pieces, but as a whole. So everything we do, we try to think how it will impact the entire organization and not only a piece of it. And what we want to impact are actually what you can see here. It's basic, and I think you all want to do the same thing in your organization. It's about alignment, collaboration, communication, the empowerment of the people within the organization, and of course, increase the transparency, the predictability, and reduce the time to market of what we do, and impact the quality, at least remain it as is or improve it. So this is just some of the basics we wanted to bring. So now let's deep dive into the experiments.
Yes,
Laeticia.
let's share the experiments we started, and we do hope it will inspire you within your context. And I can't wait to share that with you.
I see that. I see that.
The first experiment, I call that evaluate the entropy of the system and organize the flow of value.
Okay, Laeticia, I think you are doing it again.
Okay.
Okay.
You evaluate the entropy, as I said just before, the entropy definition of your company, and then you organize the flow of value just to help the teams. It's not clear.
Not yet, but I'm sure with your explanation,
okay,
it will be crystal clear.
Okay, let's try to explain. When I arrived, the objective of this experiment was to identify how Mano Mano was working. Is it a complete chaos, or is it perfectly structured, really smoothly aligned and organized? I was aware of the hypergrowth context, and during my interviews to join Mano Mano, I have been warned several times of the chaotic aspects. And coming from a big company with heavy processes, I didn't really know what to expect. What we were able to see at this time, it's somehow typical assets. Some silos, we have the business side and the technical part on the other side, product teams in the middle, a hierarchical organization with an executive team and management layers.
Yeah.
And the teams, the development teams were organized, as you said, with 5 gears inspired from the Spotify model. So, nothing very surprising in a sense. But again, an additional complexity and chaos is coming from all the new people we hire every month. And the number of projects is also growing. And that regularly impacts the Mano Mano organization. And at the end of the day, nothing is really stable.
Okay, I think I start to get it. But Laeticia, how do we organize a flow of value? And in your context, this context, what are the parts that are stable and at least doesn't change that much?
This is really the good question. We wanted to be able to rely on something stable. And for that, we have our B2C customer, we have our B2B customer, and we have also our sellers. And it has been the way to organize the flow of value. For that, we organize some workshops with the executive team, focusing on the business vision to have really the milestone we would like to achieve, focusing on the customer, keeping in mind to try to impact positively the collaboration and the empowerment of the team, and also taking into account the current organization constraint within Mano Mano, the hierarchical aspect, and all these kind of things. Yeah. So, as we said, still a lot of complexity. After 3 workshops, we were able to identify the next step of the organization. And we continue some additional workshops with key people. Let's say we were around 30 people who had the skills to build on this executive team proposal in terms of organization and to really create the mission of each flow of value. Okay.
And I think I start to get it, but what were the outputs of all of this?
In terms of output, we had 6 agile teams of teams. This is Agile Release Train, if we want to name from the Safe Inspiration. And today we have 7 trains. What we could see is we have a B2C train, a B2B train, really focusing to our customer, to our flow of value. Then we find a way to have a representative from the product part, the tech part, and the business part. So they are co-leaders of these teams of team and share responsibility together.
Okay, so this is what we can see here.
Yeah, that's it. It's a way to really foster the collaboration and let's say break the silos effect. The technical enablers are also more visible. We have a platform train, we have a catalog train, and also a data train. And for each of these trains, the mission is clear, and we can foster in this way the team's empowerment. Yeah. In terms of impacts, so it's more obvious for everyone who is doing what, and the collaboration between business, tech, and project part is really improving. Okay. And it was also the first step to improve the time to market, to have this global alignment. But as we said, it's not a magic stick, and other experiments need to be done to continue to foresee concrete improvements.
And like what else have you tried, Laeticia?
The second experiment.
I'm afraid.
I call the second one channel the energy of the system to give focus and priority.
What, Laeticia?
Okay. Okay. You know, you take the energy, the flow of value, and you give focus and you provide priority to the teams.
It
doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work. You need to explain it. Sorry.
Okay. I will explain it. In a system, when you have a lot of dependency and complexity, which is the case for Mano Mano,
yes,
we need to be able to channel the flow of the delivery in order to be able to give focus to the team.
Okay.
If you don't do that, you may observe behaviors like, sometimes internal or external customers asking for more and more features, and your development team, they just don't have the bandwidth to deliver.
Yes.
Or maybe they are asking many different things, and the teams lose focus. They deliver some smaller features, bringing less value. Another symptoms you can see is the teams try to create their own roadmap, bring the best value and try to please everyone. But without the global view, it leads to some discrepancy in terms of delivery to the end users.
Okay, I think I start to get it. The idea is really to regulate the flow of work. And if I go to your field, the metaphors, I would say that it's like when you try to, to manage the flow of the water when you are watering your garden or something like that.
Yes.
So, okay, I start to get it. And from what I understood is that you say that to try to avoid to put too much pressure or create a bottleneck that could lead to leaks or reduce the flow of water at the end of the hose, something like that?
That's it. It's when you have a lack of prioritization.
Okay. And one thing maybe, is it like the opposite of that would be having a wide flow spraying everywhere, but not being able to how to say that, to water the plants you want.
Yes.
Exactly, to focus on what you want.
That's it. You are
okay.
spraying everywhere and you do not have enough focus on what you really want. You got it.
I think I start to get it. I think to start to understand you, Laeticia.
Thank you.
Okay, but the question I have, Laeticia, is how do we do that? How do you manage to do that at Mano Mano?
Yes, to be able to do that, we organize a workshop inspired from a biofeature design game. You may know it. It's a great tool to explore which feature is the most valuable for your customer. It triggers interesting discussion, and so you are able to understand why a feature could be a priority or not. What we did in our context, we adapted. We play this game in order to clarify the top 15 priorities of the company for the following quarter.
Okay.
Taking into account business and technical perspective. We talked about the technical depth, obsolescence, and this kind of thing. Here again, the participation of the executive team was a key ingredient for the success of this experiment. They accepted to play the game, to take some risk together, to propose a first output that was not perfect, and led by example, showing how top leaders can really collaborate to find a common alignment.
Hey, Laeticia, when I'm hearing you, it sounds really great. What were the outcomes? Was it as amazing as it sounds?
I would say yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. In terms of output, yes. Having the top 15 priorities at company level, everything was clearly identified, so the teams were able to break down the work to do for the next quarter more easily.
Okay.
But in terms of impacts, we observed different things. Aligning the leaders was really a good thing. The business and tech part perspective, really it fosters a strong collaboration mindset, and we see it's improving regularly.
Okay.
However, at the same time, the strong autonomy that teams used to have was somehow impacted by this top priority level alignment.
Okay, but what did you do then in that situation?
In fact, for some people, this top priorities exercise has been seen as a top-down approach. And I do understand that. Because regarding the startup mindset we have in Mano Mano, where everyone is empowered to propose new ideas and move forward, these top priorities were like something, a bit frustrating.
Yeah.
But honestly, with the complexity of the hypergrowth on the side, and the need of autonomy, we need to find a new balance to channel this flow of value, this delivery flow, and allowing the needed autonomy for empowerment.
And how have you managed it? How you dealt with the situations?
What we did is, for 3 quarters, we repeated this experiment of refining the top priorities of the company, and we added additional ingredients. For example, the E-team members involve more and more the key people of their organization to prepare more together.
Okay.
We also organize regular iteration with the teams and the teams of teams to get feedback and update the priorities accordingly. So it's fostering again the collaboration mindset.
Organization at all levels of the organization.
That's it.
Involving everyone. Okay.
That's it. Again, it's not perfect, and we continue to run this experiment and to try new things, taking into account the feedback from the teams, but also from the executive team. So we adapt Agile principle to our context.
Yeah.
We have now 7 trains.
Yes.
We have, let's say, clear priorities.
Yeah.
So how do we synchronize, Fatima, all these trains? How do we ensure that dependencies are managed?
I see you coming, Laeticia. I really see you coming. And as you said, we have the top priorities, but what we wanted to see is really how all those people could work together. So the third experiment is actually called Stress the System, and I'm going to tell you a bit more about that. And in this approach to see, okay, how all those people can work together and what are the strengths of the system and the weaknesses of the system, we decided to use an event that is inspired from SAFE again, that is the PI planning. So I don't know if everyone is...
No. What is a PI planning?
Okay, I will try to explain it. In few words and very basic things about the PI planning, it's that it's a 2-day event where you gather all the parties involved in a train, and the train is, as you said, Laeticia, an encapsulation mode, let's say that way, for teams of teams, and to work together and define what they will work on and what they will not work on, and this is very important, and define what could be the right portion at the right time to serve our customers' needs and partners, because this is what we do at the end. So that's what we tried.
I have a question. You started with 1 train?
Not really, because as we were sharing, we are having a really systemic approach to everything what we were doing, and what was interesting for us is to see how all the 6 trains could work together, and not only one. So, and also what we wanted is actually to live up to Mano Mano values and being bold. And for that, what we did is take the 6 trains, gather them all together for 2 days, and let's say in terms of timing, in less than a month.
Okay, and remotely, I guess.
Remotely.
Okay.
And remotely.
Okay, that must have been fun. What did you observe?
It was fun, challenging, but actually really fun, because again we did it all together, and what was amazing is that to see how adaptive the system was in less than a month. It was really the first time that we were doing that, and they already knew what was necessary, what was needed actually to achieve the business priorities. But actually where we see some struggles were on the communication, the transparency, the level of alignment, and the sequencing of all this, because again we are not talking about one scope, a specific scope of team or gear, but 6 trains all together. Okay. So that was what we really
struggle with. Okay. Did you try that only one time?
Again, actually no, because today we with this first experiment of the PI planning, we could already project ourselves on what could be the next one and what the value that type of event could bring to the organization. Okay. So today the PI planning is part of our recurring events. We are on our 3rd PI planning, and we are in the starting blocks for preparing the next one. And as the iteration goes, really after one iteration after another, we can see that the communication, the alignment, and the transparency have improved, and dependencies are better managed now. It's not yet perfect, but it's really better. And this actually has resulted in also improving one of the key elements we wanted to have an impact on, which was the predictability of the whole system. And we hope soon to observe also a decrease on the time to market. And actually, this leads us to our fourth experiment,
which is?
For this one, we really try to focus on the impact, because I remember, and referring to what you shared with us earlier, that most of the time we were focusing on the output, not that much on the outcome, and we were not sure how to really measure actually what we were doing and the impact we are having on the system and on our customer, let's say it that way. So we took those priorities that you shared with us, Laeticia, and we just took them a little bit to another format, because we wanted to bring more precision and finesse to those objectives, and also really being able to measure with more accuracy the impact that we could drive with those objectives, and really what could be the impact, the real impact of the potions developed by our teams for our customer needs. And for this purpose, I think it's the end of last year that something like that. We decided to use the OKRs framework that is very well known. Again, we don't reinvent the wheel. We get inspired from what is used elsewhere, and this allows us today to better visualize the flow of value that we are creating. It's not yet perfect, but we are getting there. Link really the objective and what is happening in the day-to-day activities in a more operational level, and to better monitor again and measure what we are doing. And this not only at team level or business level, at all level and cross organization. And I think that was one of the great changes that we can see with the OKRs. And I would say not above all, but almost, really now we can have data and to take our decisions, and which also allows us in a way to continuously anticipate and adapt to our context, to the market, and to the ambitions we have. So we just shared with you 4 experiments so far, but actually this is just the beginning of our journey. This is just the beginning of the story, and much is really still ahead of us, much of it, I think. Laeticia, can you?
Yes, definitely. This is a journey, and we had only time to share with you these 4 experiments, and I will just share with you a bit more on what we are trying to do right now. And I hope you will also be inspired with what is going on right now, and you can ask questions at the end of this presentation if you want to. So one of the experiments which is ongoing is the tooling part. We have now this flow of value which is clear. We have 7 trains, but how we make that visible easily, and then we increase this visibility everywhere in the company, and probably even outside of our company. So currently we are trying several tools, and we hope we will find something that fit us the best soon. Another thing we really believe in is to setting up simplified governance across the teams of teams. To continue to foster the focus and prioritization. You know that now?
Yeah, and you know.
It's important.
I know.
In addition to that, we would like also to find new ideas or new ways to onboard, involve more the business teams.
In fact, yeah, indeed.
Yeah. Either we will try to maybe have some people within the team of teams, but this is something we are really reflecting on, and we will start something new. New. And for sure, how can we continue to grow, preserving our startup culture and our strong values? This is the big question. We try to keep all of that in mind to move forward. And we started step by step to identify the formulas that seems to work in our context. Fatima, would you like to share that with us?
Yes, of course. And I think maybe the whole experiments that will come may be an opportunity for us to come back to this conference and share them again with you later.
Yes.
But about the formula we believe in, and again, it's to our context, to this moment, and to what we know so far of what we are doing and what we are involved in. Care, it's one of the key ingredients for us, because at the end, after everything we do is with the people and for the people. So actually, without the people being involved in this process and taking their feedback into account and make them work with you to define what works best for the organization, you can't really do much. So this is one of the first things. The second thing is really about the ability to take risks. But not only that, taking risks is one thing, but accepting that we may fail. And we fail big time.
Yes, we do.
So this is really another key aspect of our formula is the fact that we can fail and it's okay. Yes. And the other thing is really get into motion by actions, concrete actions, baby step, whatever, but get yourself into actions. And this is for us our key formula to learn, adapt, improve ourselves, and improve actually as an organization. We also wanted to share with you a few readings, some food for thoughts, if you want to get inspired. So there are some books, but also the Meno Medium account if you want to take a look. But not only that, really get outside, get in touch with people, go to conferences, and get as much inspiration as you could, because again, there is not one way of doing things, and probably your way of doing things is completely different from the way we are doing things and the way we see the world with Laeticia. And Laeticia, I think we have now the end words. Yeah?
Yes. We would like to finish this presentation with a quote from the book The Alchemist. There is only one way to learn, and it's through action. Everything you know today, you've learned it by making experiments and learn from them. So we wanted to share this mindset with you, how we are inspired by recipes and tools, ideas, but also how we adapt them to create our own recipe, our own formula. We take risk to experiment, we fail, but with a relentless willingness to learn and to adapt. And we care. So thank you, Fatima.
Thank you, Laeticia.
Thank you for the Agile team who support us, all these alchemists who work with us every day. And also a big thank you to all the manos and manas who accept to play this game with us. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for your support, everyone. And thank you for watching us. And if you have any questions or you want to know more, anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. We are available anytime, LinkedIn, whatever. Just write to us. Call us, write to us, whatever.
Yes, connect.
Connect.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.